Hello everyone. Creating and selecting the best embryo for transfer is the key to IVF pregnancy. And we have the most modern and scientifically proven techniques of embryo selection at our laboratories. Let's discuss what are the techniques and methods we have by which we can select a good quality embryo for transfer, or what techniques for embryo selection we have by which the implantation rate can be improved. And if you have any queries regarding this, do write them in comment section and I'll reply to all your queries. I am Dr. Ashita Jain, fertility is Hello everyone. Creating and choosing the best embryo for transfer is a key to IVF pregnancy. And we have the most modern and scientifically proven techniques for embryo selection at our laboratories. So let's discuss what are the techniques and methods we have for embryo selection by which we can improve the implantation rate. And if you have any queries regarding this, do write them in comment section and I'll reply to all your queries. I am Dr. Ashita Jain, fertility expert, Bhavishi Fertility Institute. As I said earlier, selecting the best embryo will give the best implantation rate. So let's see what methods we have. The most commonly used and available method is the morphological evaluation. On the basis of morphological characteristics at several steps of pre-implantation development, and a good quality embryo can be selected for transfer. Generally, the growth and development of an embryo gives an idea about its quality. When an egg is fertilized with a sperm, then we generally see a 4 to 6 cell embryo on a day 2, a 6 to 8 cell embryo on day 3, a modular stage on day 4, and a blastocyst which has more than 100 cells on day 5. This is how, as you can see here, embryos are seen when they are fertilized. This is how a day 2 embryo is seen, which generally has 2 to 4 cells. This is a day 3 embryo which generally has a 6 to 8 cells. This is a day 4 embryo which is known as a modular stage, and this is a day 5 embryo which is known as the blastocyst. If the embryos does not follow this pattern of growth and development, or if the embryo growth lags behind, so this might be an indication that these embryos might be chromosomally abnormal. Still, many generally have a practice of transferring day 2, day 3 embryos. That is, once the eggs are retrieved from the body and fertilized, they are cultured in the laboratory up to day 2 and day 3, and then they are transferred. But there are ways by which we can extend this culture up to the day 5 or day 6, which is known as the blastocyst. Anything that we culture in the external environment has gone a lot through the external environment stresses. And secondly, the embryo has an inherent potential for the growth and development, and these might be the ones who have the better survival rate. So these embryos, if transferred, will give or will have the best implantation rate. Blastocyst culture is one of the best tools for selecting a good quality embryo. Along with this, the grading of the embryo is also important depending on the quality. There are guidelines according to which the grading and scoring of an embryo is done depending on the trophectoderm, inner cell mass, and its expansion. and they are graded as grade 1, 2, and 3. It has been proven that if the grade 1 embryos are transferred, they will give the maximum success rate compared to the grade 2 and grade 3. So, we generally use the most common available method, that is the morphological evaluation for embryo selection, and in this the blastocyst culture is the best tool and it has the best implantation rates. The another method which has undergone a lot of research and still does not have any conclusive evidence is the metabolomics. It is nothing but the study of the fluid in which the embryo or the eggs are cultured and which gives us the idea of the various processes that are taking place in it, various materials that are being excreted or being used by the embryos. So, this gives us the better picture whether embryo is viable metabolically, not only morphologically, that is, not only its looks will tell us the viability, but also the metabolites it have will tell us the viability of the embryo, but it still requires more studies and evidence. Yet, the very best way to understand whether the embryo has the potentiality to survive or not is one of the recent techniques and which is used very much is the pre-implantation genetic screening. In pre-implantation genetic screening, genetic profiling of all the 23 sets of chromosome is being analyzed. And this is done with the help of a technique which is known as next generation screening or the NGS. And also the mitochondrial DNA can be studied. That is, the mitochondrial disorders can also be studied accordingly, but we do not have much understanding as what these mitochondrial disorders have impact today. But for sure, the chromosomal abnormalities or genetic abnormalities can be detected by pre-implantation genetic screening. And so, the embryos which are chromosomally and genetically normal are transferred and the chromosomally abnormal embryos are discarded. So, this would definitely give an increasing rate of implantation and better pregnancy rates. So, there is this saying which says that whilst the uterus and the receptivity is important for the implantation, but it is the good embryo which directs this implantation process. So, all we need to do is give the uterus back a good embryo and it will direct its implantation and the development of the baby. And if you have any queries regarding this, write them in the comment section and I'll reply to all your queries. Thank you.